And we live. Salute. What's good? To anybody entering the building, anybody catching this on the replay, you already know what it is. Do me a favor before you walk in my house. Take your shoes off, dust your feet off, sit back and enjoy the ride. And remember to take some of these good vibes around to some of these other content creators. Yeah. I enjoyed the last night. Like, that shit is what, to me, what a Versuz should look like, right? Especially now since motherfuckers outside. You know, all the friendly shit. What's up, handling? All the friendly shit when the COVID shit was going on, and you know, the up until this one, probably Snoop and X probably was my favorite one. But that was all friendly and shit. What's up, pretty? This one not so much. This one felt like a battle. This shit felt like battle rap. And Jada came to, Lord have mercy. Jada came. It's fucked up. Where motherfuckers ain't had to dig that deep in their bag and they was killing motherfuckers with their fucking mixtape shit. That shit was crazy. But it's levels to shit. And I'll explain the mistake that Dipset made. Because if you sit down and you just listen to this shit song for song, it's closer than it actually appeared. Like, and that's just the fact. It's just what they did wrong. You know what I mean? And I'll get into that once we drop this motherfucking intro. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. As soon as I find the right motherfucking one. Alright, we be back.
In one way or the other, I'm a bad brother. Word.
Generation X Radio with your host, Street Knowledge.
A soldier dies but once. Dies but once. Dies but once. Dies but once.
What's up, friendly? Hey, Patty. Hey, Miss Lisa. What's good? Hey. Alright, so, and pretty. It's a couple of channels probably still got it up. A lot of them they got removed from Live Nation, but I think it's like still like 2, and it should be on the Versuz YouTube channel by now. Usually it's on there like a day 24 hours later or some shit like that. But if last night was a fucking basketball game, Jada scored 60. Jada scored 60 by herself. But the mistake that Dipset made was they didn't know that fucking material. They just didn't. And that shit trying to rap over the track with the words and shit, that shit just sound crazy. It sound muffled. You know what I mean? Then when you have what I like to call a legacy act like the Locks, they live off of their live performance. Anytime these motherfuckers know their mixtape shit, they knew their mixtape shit. Just like that. They just knew the shit. Because this is what the fuck they do all the time. They travel, they tour. That's how they make their money. As Jada said last night, I don't do Instagram. I don't do Facebook. I rap. Nigga. I fucking rap. And they just, like, they wasn't ready for no shit like that. Now, if it was COVID shit and they was sitting in a fucking room somewhere and playing tracks, it would have looked a lot closer. Because a lot of Dipset shit is a vibe, you know what I mean? But going against that energy in Madison Square Garden, when almost every time the Locks put on something, they got a fucking, to use a wrestling term for a minute, they got a pop. Like the fucking Rock was coming out of some shit. You couldn't beat that shit. You couldn't beat that energy. No matter how many jokes they told, no matter what the fuck they did, you couldn't beat that fucking energy. You couldn't beat that fucking aggression. They just proved there's levels to that shit. And granted, Dipset ain't been together all the core members. And we not talking about the subset parts of Dipset. Not the Bird Gang niggas, none of them niggas, but the core members. I ain't know if all them niggas still get along on a consistent basis. But, you know, they didn't have their shit together. And I don't know what they thought it was. I don't know if they thought just because they was at home, they was in New York, they was going to be able to come out there and play the fucking track. That shit is trash. They should have known better. Like, you gotta know your own material. You just have to know your shit. Your shit. And maybe they'll learn something by going on tour with the Locks, because they doing a joint tour, which salute to them for going to get a bag afterwards. But Jada definitely scored 60 by herself. Like, I think Jada thought, because you know Jada been contemplating battling and shit if the money was right. You know what I mean? I don't know if some people have known that, but you know, he's talked about it a couple of times with Smack a few times, because if he was gonna battle anywhere, that's where it would be at, or even on Hoffa Legends Only shit, which you probably would see a lot more industry dudes doing that, because they get to kind of rap the shit in the studio. But they was just 100% prepared. Like they was putting on a fucking show. I don't know what Dipset was thinking about. I don't know what the fuck they was thinking about. What's up, Buddy Lee? What's up, Diva? Don't start this shit. Just get on my damn nerve. But anyway, I missed you though. You know what I mean? Jada, that shit was ridiculous. And that DJ, how important was their DJ? The song selection, they had an answer for just about everything. Dipset probably had about 2 songs. 2. And I'm being generous. I'm being really generous saying they had 2. But again, if you take both playlists and you sit back by yourself with no crowd reaction, no none of that shit, no fucked up performances, and you listen to the songs that they selected, it's a little closer. But when it comes to stage performance, when it comes to the aggression, when it comes to just talking shit, and talking about bars, like, and Cam, how you get booed at home? You home, blood. You home. You home. This nigga gonna try to. Hold on. Cause we got the files. Hold on. I don't know. I gotta give it back to you. This ain't your original channel. There she go. You see what she doing? You see how she come back? You see how she come back? I love you to death, but how was you supposed to have rent? You ain't been there. This ain't the other channel. It's crazy. But I got you though. But how does nigga get booed at home trying to freestyle, attempting to freestyle? Crowd ain't even give him a fucking chance at all. At all. And I don't even know where he was going with this shit. I think he thought he could do this shit, but I don't know where the fuck he was going with that shit. I think he thought of some shit, and that shit just didn't come out right. But that wasn't even a good look. It wasn't a good look at all. But we got the files. Hopefully it's the right fucking one. Yeah, it's the right one.
Listen, since we ain't got no bars, right? Let's go. If a got a problem with me, you know my slogan, go get your gun. Right. Cop told my car in 10 minutes, I'm in a different one. Yeah, that's how I'm living, son. And check it, I'm not dissing, son. Yeah, they can't do that. I'm not dissing, son. Styles was talking crazy. Yes, thank you. Thank you, bro. Thank you. All right. Oh. You got a problem with me, you know my slogan. Go get your gun. Oh, you know, yeah, exactly. You got a problem with me, you know my slogan. Go get your gun. Oh, oh, yeah. Okay, y'all got it, bro. You got it, yo. You got it, go. Yeah. Yeah. Full break. Siobhan. Let's go, Mo. Let's get it.
That shit look bad, sloppy. And Freaky Ziggy need to lose his fucking job. He shouldn't have got no check last night. He was a bad hype man. He didn't do his fucking job. I don't know what the fuck he was doing up there. But the fuck out of here. That shit was terrible. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. But he saved Cam in that moment. He saved the fuck out of him. Because he was going down bad. I don't even know why he tried. Because that was some last minute shit. Everything the Locks did was orchestrated and designed. They had a plan. They stuck to the shit. They ain't deviate from that shit. They did exactly what the fuck they wanted to do up there. The shit was bad. It just looked bad. And this tour, hopefully they learn some shit from them. They get their performance shit up. But they get booed at home. After y'all talked all that shit. After they talked all that shit. They was talking mad spicy for a couple weeks. Jada ain't say too much because Jada don't be online like that. But Styles was talking shit back. But it was dope. You know what I mean? New York needed that. I think it would have been better. Me, myself, personally, it would have been better if it was Dipset versus G Unit and the Locks versus State Property. And I know y'all like, State Property ain't got enough song. But the history between the Locks and State Property would have made for a better versus battle. Because even though that beef ain't talked about with the rest of them, that is probably one of the greatest beefs of all time. Some of the shit these niggas said to each other was some of the greatest bars ever said between those two groups. From Jada getting booed in Philly for doing the song. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking about even doing the song directed towards Beans. But that shit is just classic shit in hip hop. That would have been a better look, more than likely. But that's even if they could have got all the members of State Property together. But I think they want to do 3-on-3. But I don't even know who you even get for the Locks, because they still got more shit. They didn't even use most of their shit. They used a lot of mixtape shit, and that was purposely, because I'm pretty sure they want to come back outside against somebody else. It's one of the it's one of them ones people don't talk about that particular beef because of what else was going on at that particular time. So that one ain't, the light ain't put on that one because the Hove and Nas shit was going on around the same time that shit was going on. So it's not really talked about like it should be. But those who know. I mean, those who know, remember them fucking mixtapes. Shit, I still got a few. You know what I mean? That shit was some different shit. It's just not talked about. When everybody talk about their little beef list and shit, everybody forget about that one. And that shit lasted longer than the Hove and all shit. Them niggas just made a couple songs. These niggas was doing mixtape after mixtape, song after song, going up to the radio station. They was doing all kinds of shit. State Property would go up to Hot 97, spit some shit. The Locks would go up to Hot 97, spit some shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit, you know, at least they kept it, you know what I mean, all bars and shit. Wasn't no other shit. But that's one of my favorite ones. It's in my top 5. But before the fuck we move on to the other news with Hoffa, my opinion is Dipset got about 2 songs. I'm still being generous. It was a clear body. Jada scored 60. And I heard a lot of people leading up to it, everybody was talking about Styles make better songs and da da da. Nah. Like, I think people forget, like, Jada is the face of the Locks. It's like, it's Jada. Let's be clear. You know, Sheik Luch is cool. Really not. I don't think nobody remembers a Sheik Luch approach. I don't think nobody does. No disrespect to him, but I don't think nobody do. I don't know. Anybody here know? Outside of probably Benjamins and shit. Outside of that shit. But I don't think nobody remembers shit. SP is cool. But Jada is fucking Jada. He proved that shit last night. Yeah, that man is props. He scored 60 in the Garden. That's it. Cam coming out there sitting on a fucking beach chair. Like, the fuck was you thinking about? What you thought this was gonna be? What the fuck you thought this was gonna be? I think Jimmy would have had a better chance going up against them by himself, because Jimmy knew his music is probably sonically some of the best shit. You know what I mean? But a lot of they shit is really laid back. That shit is like rider music and shit. Locks over here barking on you niggas. Barking on y'all. You motherfuckers doing balling and shit. But they got a pop for that. You know what I mean? That's what it was, frankly. It was Jada versus fucking Dipset. That nigga was serious last night. He was not playing. He was not playing. You know what I mean? Even Styles P was having moments where he was joking around with Cam and shit like that in the background. Jada wasn't playing with no fucking body. He wasn't trying to joke around. He wasn't doing none of that shit. That nigga was straight out the gate, ready for war. Like, this shit was a fucking rap battle. For real, for real. That's what the fuck he was acting like. And I like that energy. I hope they continue that type of shit when it comes to, not for the R&B niggas, not them. You know, they can keep, you know, being friendly and, you know, shaking hands and hugging each other and all that shit and singing the songs together. But when it come to the ones like this, yeah, had that energy. And I'm pretty sure they talked about this shit beforehand. It was moments where the shit got a little bit, you know what I mean, where it was a little tense up there. a couple of shut the fucks up and shit like that. You know what I mean? It was a little heated. And that's because shit wasn't going the way Dipset thought that shit was going to go. I know they didn't picture that shit going like that, but that's their fault. They wasn't prepared at all. But anyway, I'll play a couple of clips. And before we get the fuck out of here, yesterday, and I don't hardly ever be on Instagram, so I don't be saying shit that be on Instagram. But, I did the announcement yesterday for those that was here, about the Math Hoffa shit. Math gonna be here in about 2 weeks or some shit like that. So he messaged me, he sent me a picture. I think y'all seen the picture on the front of my shit. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the shit. He put the picture in the thumbnail. But he put the same picture on his Instagram from what I'm hearing. He sends me this picture with a fucking question mark, but he sends me this. So, what it looked like, and it looks like this has already happened. Traditionally, the track record is when they do these legend battles, they pre-record them, they film them, Math put them up later. Same thing happened with the Method Man one. This one shall be a little interesting. I would have liked to see, I don't think, like for this particular one, it's no knock against Math. And I'll say this shit to him when he come in. It shouldn't be him battling Busta. It should have been Loaded Lux battling Busta Rhymes. They have history. That should have been what it was. Like, I get the legend shit, but are you gonna battle every fucking body? I mean, no disrespect, but is you gonna battle every fucking industry nigga? Let another nigga battle a nigga. You know what I mean? If you want this shit to continue, and I ain't saying it's not gonna be dope or no shit like that. I'm gonna watch. You know what I mean? But I think it would have been dope if it was Lux, just because of the history with the diss track that was never played, that Mook brought up at the battle, all that shit, all the little behind the scenes shit. You know what I mean? It's a whole angle there. That would have been a little more dope for battle rap culture than this. Not saying it's not gonna be dope, but I'm just saying, man, stop being fucking selfish. Share that shit. You know what I mean? Not saying you probably didn't try. When you come here, I'll ask you, why are you the only one battling in this Legends League against industry niggas? Why is nobody else fucking battling these niggas? What the fuck is you doing? I'm just saying, this is just, you know what I mean? No slight or nothing, but it don't make sense to me. I know there's a few people excited about it. I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but it's like, what the fuck, nigga? Who's next? This is the fourth. 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth one, and it's been consistently him versus somebody from the industry. It should be battle rap legends versus legends from the industry. That's what it should be, not just Hoffa versus that shit. My personal opinion. But when they come here, I say whatever about it and see what the fuck his response is. Because maybe he tried to get these people, maybe they ain't want to do it, or maybe they was asking for too much. I don't know. But if the industry nigga is doing it, I know they ain't doing that shit for a little bit of nothing. Maybe Meth did because of that friendship. Maybe, but I still doubt that. But it's a more attractive situation for industry niggas, because it still feels like industry shit. Because for those that never seen one of those battles, they are recording the vocals inside the studio and then recording the battle like it's a video. You know what I mean? So it's a It's not the pressures of being in front of a crowd. It's not the pressures of trying to remember your bars in front of a crowd to steady making noise over top of your shit. None of that shit. You just get to rap in the fucking studio. So more and more people would do that shit. I'm just not getting why the only battle rapper doing it is Mav. And I don't want it to sound like, you know what I mean, I got some type of disdain towards a nigga. I'm just saying, I got some questions. Like, the fuck? I just got some questions. I don't fucking know. I got some questions. And if you listening, nigga, you welcome to, do as you always do. Let me know if you got an issue with this shit. I just don't get that shit. Let some other niggas battle, nigga. Fuck is we doing? But anyway, I'm dead ass serious, friendly. Like, it's not making sense to me. The name of the league is Legends Only. That's the name of the shit. When you get a chance, type the shit on YouTube. Every battle you gonna see is Mav versus some fucking body. Method Man, some Spanish nigga. I don't know who he is. Y'all might know who he is. It's some Spanish rapper who's big overseas and shit. I don't know the nigga. Who the fuck else was it? I'm missing somebody. And it was somebody else. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? This would have been the perfect one to bring in. And it still could be. It still could be. This might just be a little teaser picture. You put the picture up, get some excitement around it, but I doubt it. Especially with Lux and got the little podcast shit going. I doubt it. I doubt if that's what it is. I would hope it's open for discussion. You know what I mean? Because that's been something that's been talked about for a long time and has never happened. And it would have been dope if he would have made that happen. But I think Math is at a point where Math is just concentrating on him, and that's cool. But shit, if this is supposed to be for the culture, let it be for the fucking culture. The fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying? I don't want that shit to sound like hating them. I'm just saying, like, goddamn, nigga, fuck out of here. Let somebody else eat too. Fuck is you doing?
New York, everybody chill out. Can I get the mic? Yes, y'all had it. Yeah, it was y'all turn. Let me talk. New York, what's up, New York? Listen, we in New York, right? Why these niggas keep rhyming over the words? Y'all could have stayed in the car and listened to Apple Music for that.
We know that
These niggas is cheating.
Yo, you
tell me to hold on. Everybody hold on. Everybody hold on.
Hey, you gonna rap.
Yo, can I talk?
Let me talk.
Let me talk. Yo, why y'all doing what? We didn't talk on your part. Shut the fuck up then. Shut up then, nigga. It's our time. You on our time.
No, not they talk, nigga.
Let the music talk. Go in your corner. Go in your corner.
No.
We didn't violate you.
No.
He's causing a distraction. They don't know the fucking words. Listen. New York, they causing a distraction. This is hip hop. We in the Mecca of New York. It's D-Block. It's Dipset. Turn the words on. Why they don't know the words? Yo, Tech, let's make something happen. New York. Turn the mic up, Haas. It's that time.
I know that was random as fuck, but that was like my favorite part of this shit. That was my favorite part of the shit. Is that exchange, is that fucking back and forth. That was my favorite fucking part. That shit right there. You know what I mean? That fucking energy, because at that point, both sides was taking that shit way more serious than I think everybody watching it was. What's up, Dice? That shit, from that exchange to the fucking freestyle, and the fact that this nigga still remember that fucking freestyle. It gotta be fucking 15 years old. Gotta be. And I might be being generous with 15 years old. By the time they did that, Who Shot You came out in 9-5. When they did that freestyle, I believe it was a few years later. I know Big was already gone, right? It's gotta be like 20 years. This nigga still remember a fucking freestyle. It's not like you gotta perform a freestyle. That shit wasn't on no album, wasn't none of that shit. It was on a fucking Clue mixtape, if I ain't fucking mistaken. I think it was fucking Clue. It wasn't that Envy shit. It could have been DJ Envy shit, but I think it was a Clue shit. I don't know. I think it was a Clue shit, if I'm not mistaken. But that shit, that right there, people would talk about that for a while. It's gonna bring, especially for this tour that they doing. It then, but one thing that this Versuz shit is doing is introducing a lot of these artists, these legacy acts, because even Dipset is a legacy act at this point. It's introducing them in a different way to a whole different generation. You know what I mean? Those fucking streaming numbers go up after these Versuz battles when they're done correctly. It doesn't benefit every artist. Every artist don't leave these shits with their numbers going up after these shits. But when it's done correctly, yeah, it's different. I think even before this one, I know I was saying, me myself personally, I thought that people were sleeping on Dipset. Only going off of what their impact was. This is just the way that people was talking about Dipset. They was talking about it like they didn't have nothing. They do. It's just as levels to shit. We talking about two different time frames. And look where they had that shit at. Almost every fucking song the Locks fucking played, the crowd knew the shit word for word. They even knew the fucking freestyle. Shit, I knew the freestyle. You a pussy, you a dick, y'all niggas neighbors. Like, this shit is classic. That shit 20 something years old and it's still better than half this shit these niggas say now. What? But it was a win for the culture regardless of what the outcome was. I enjoyed the shit. I typically don't watch them shits the day of, only because some of them fucking battles don't be making sense to me. Like that Keep Sweating Bobby Brown shit. It didn't make sense to me. Even though I know some of y'all enjoyed that shit and thought it did. Don't make sense to me. Bobby is Bobby. I thought that shit was disrespectful. Motherfuckers be treating Bobby like Bobby wasn't that nigga. Him and Keep Sweating in the same never. Never in the same conversation. I don't give a fuck how much motherfuckers love Keep Sweat music. Him and Bobby was never in the same conversation ever. Not ever. It's levels this shit, and they was not in the same conversation. There's no way that shit should have happened. But because of the way Bobby looked at, because after the fact, people forget what his position was and attach him to shit that, you know what I mean? Like, the fuck? That shit was dumb. That shit, I thought that shit was highly disrespectful to that man's legacy. If it was supposed to be a celebration of that man's, like, get the fuck out of here. Keep Sweat. How? Should have been like Keep Sweat versus Johnny Gill or some shit. Not fucking Keep Sweat versus Bobby Brown. The fuck? The fuck out of here. Yeah, nah, fuck that. Nah. Bobby should have said, fuck no. I had to bring me somebody of my fucking stature. I'm not battling this crying ass nigga. I can't beat this nigga. This nigga gonna cry. Women gonna love that shit. I'm not battling this nigga. Fuck. That wasn't right. But anyway, I'm gonna drop this link in case somebody got something they want to add, and if not, we gonna close this shit out with some lock shit. Well, Jada shit. Cause like I said, that nigga scored 60 last night at the fucking Garden. But like I said yesterday, neither one of those groups ever headlined at Madison Square Garden. But the fuck last night, the Versuz brought those two groups to Madison Square Garden and damn near sold that motherfucker out. So shout out to Swiss and fucking Steroid, what the fuck his name? Timbaland, that nigga. Shout out to them for putting that shit together. And that little shot they took at SOBs was a for those that don't know, might have been over top of a couple people head, but SOBs has been traditionally used for battle rap. URL used to use it, but RBE and SOB got some type of weird ass partnership, or they own this shit or something like that, so they don't use this shit. So when Cam said something about SOBs, that's what he was attempting to allude to. Like, nigga, this is how we typically perform. Don't nobody need to know this shit. We ain't in no fucking SOBs. This ain't no battle rap. That's what he was pretty much trying to say. Which was crazy to even say. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, nigga? Exactly, Dice. It was definitely one of those ones. You know what I mean? Just the energy itself. Even though it was a body, let's be clear on that. The shit was a body. A bad body. I don't know when this tour started, but I hope Dipset got some time to get this shit together and actually be together and start learning their material. You know, you would think all these years, but granted, these niggas ain't really been together like that. You know what I mean? They fucking break up, get back together, break. The Locks have never fucking separated and shit. These niggas is probably the only group in history outside of Mobb Deep, but we can't really count Mobb Deep because one member not here anymore. But they've been the only group to stay together, never break up, none of that shit. Use little loopholes and shit while Diddy owned their name and shit like that to do, solo projects and shit. That's the only reason why they did those solo projects, so they wouldn't give no money to Diddy because he owned the Locks masters and shit like that. So they would have done a Locks album during the course of that time, which was just still a fucking dope time in history. Like that fucking moment at the radio station with the back and forth with Diddy over the phone for they shit. Classic fucking moment. Y'all ain't never heard that shit? I think this shit is on YouTube somewhere. Dope shit. And just imagine if social media was around at that time. But the audio was out there. I can't remember who was on the radio station. I can't remember if Diddy was on the radio or the Locks was on the radio. And then the other one called in to try to clear up the shit about the shit. Nah. Dope exchange. Jim fell off the stage. Oh shit! I ain't even. Now I'm gonna have to go find that clip. I didn't even put that in the highlights and shit. I didn't even put that in. I wish I'd have known that. I didn't see that. I had dozed off. I had dozed off. I fell asleep like 20 minutes into the shit. And what the fuck woke me up? I think I woke up at like 1 or 2 something. And finished watching the rest of it where I missed that. And talking to Dice and shit. I didn't even know that nigga fell off the stage. And the shit with the little chain shit I thought was Like, what the fuck you doing, blood? What you doing, blood? But I wanted them to do well, cause you know what I mean, Jimmy and Billy for real. So, and that's family. So,
Salute for having me up in the
what's up, friendly? What's good with you?
bro. I'm alright.
Yeah, you already know.
Man, this is a topic. Um, it was crazy to see Jim Jones falling off the stage. You know, I just seen there was so much pressure, and I just want to get one thing clear. Like I said before, plenty of times, Dipset had a lot of great music that I love, and to this day, I can't even say it's trash. I actually love those songs. But the people that was up against her, I just couldn't like. I was like, wow, Dipset is no match to D Block. These guys was pulling out songs from when I was 14 years old. That was still relevant.
That's a fact. And plus, that vibe shit wasn't gonna work in that atmosphere. Dipset, like I was saying, their music is more of a vibe and got like a ride type feel to it, and up against niggas barking on you like that.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna work.
You gotta realize, the Locks been around with nothing but the best. When the Locks first came out, remember the Locks they came out at a time where it wasn't about the jewelry; it was all about the lyrics. Dipset came out at a time where they was more into fashion, where the fashion was like actually helping them. You know, it was helping them promote their music and stuff like that. It wasn't an era that they come from where you had to work hard with your music. The Locks come from an era where you had to be nice. You had to be stamped, certified. There was no social media to certify you. There was none of that. So the Locks performing was so old school and so hip hop. It was raw. I got to give it to them. Jada versus Dipset.
That's what it was. But you know what though? You know, we can't leave out the Locks did where it had went through their shiny suit phase, you know what I mean? They did go through that shit.
Yeah. But even with the shiny suit, nobody would dare try to play with the Locks. The Locks they was way ahead of their time. Even with the shiny suit on, they were still killing rappers. And the amazing part about it, man, that is fucked up how Diddy did the Locks dirty and took so much from them. Because just imagine if the Locks had the opportunity to move around and really do what they had to do, they would have been filthy rich. Because look at the catalog they had. And that was only mixtapes from when I was a young kid, when I was 14.
I'll say this though, right? I can't say that I'm not gonna blame Diddy, right?
Okay.
And we can say we can, but this is like industry shit. Those was industry standard deals.
Right.
Almost all artists' first deals are fucked up. They all fucked up. A lot of them are bullshit ass developmental deals. A lot of them fucked up, and a lot of artists just want to get on and get signed until they realize what they gave away and where the real money is at. You know what I mean? Where the real money is at. The real money is on the back end, not up front. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the issue come in at. So in all those situations, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm not on the side of the artist, but it's the artist's responsibility to negotiate the deal that fits them and make sure they get the proper turn, all that shit, and stop allowing the label to do that shit for them, because they go there, no deal, no attorney, none of that shit, and then the label be like, oh, we got one for you. How the fuck that nigga gonna look out for your best interest? They work for the label.
Right. But
you know what I'm saying?
You have a major point. But you know what was sad was when they wanted out and they couldn't get, you know, there was like no way out, really, you know, like the P. Diddy album, No Way Out. And it was crazy how they, for like over 10 years, they had struggled trying to do their thing, but they was being stopped because no matter what they do, Diddy will actually get a bigger cut than them. So what I'm saying is, it's like, imagine if that when those problems would have never happened with the Locks. Could you imagine how much like the more like albums they would have had, more like successful albums? Because there was something big at a time when Biggie Small was out and all these artists, and it's just like, it's crazy that today the music that they did 22 years ago is amazing how it's still relevant into this day, and especially when they was up on stage up against Dipset, how those words were still affecting people into this day. Amazing. Legends.
Yeah, I like to call them legacy acts, right? Because preserving the culture gotta be the number one thing. And to answer your question 504, nah, Diddy ain't start Bad Boy because of that. Diddy started Bad Boy because Uptown shut the fuck down. He got fired. Nigga got fired. That's why he started Bad Boy. And the reason why he got fired, because Andre Harrell saw the nigga as a threat for his job. You know what I mean? Hey, right. Philly, salute. That's why he got fired. Like, you can't. He saw that little nigga coming for a spot, so he got rid of him before he got replaced, and then ended up working for Diddy years later and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Shit just ended up working out like that. I think Diddy I think a lot of record execs, black record execs, get a bad have bad clouds over their head. You gotta think of where they learned the business from. Shit, Barry Gordy was doing the same shit to niggas. They buying niggas Cadillacs and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's just giving a nigga a Cadillac. Nigga signed a deal, huh? Here go a Cadillac. Nigga ain't get. You know what I'm saying?
And a Cadillac back then was something huge.
Yeah.
So they was getting tricked with all that shit. Material.
Fucking Tony Braxton was getting 87 cents per unit, my nigga. 87 cents per unit.
That's money though, if you look at it.
No, you know what per unit is? Per unit ain't per CD or tape. It's per box of CDs and tape that go to the record store.
Thank you for correcting me. Wow.
That's crazy. But she had a developmental deal.
Right. But this is the thing I don't understand. And like how people could just rip somebody off that way, like TLC. They had a check for $1 or whatever, a few dollars after doing all that touring. You know what I'm saying? And the album went crazy.
But check it out though. Check it out. That's another group that signed a developmental deal. Remember, they put them together.
Whoa.
They signed a developmental deal where the label puts up everything, take care of you. They put you in a home. They get your little car, do all that shit, pay, but they gotta recoup all that money. So you don't get no points. You don't get no shit like that. Now the mistake that TLC made, they had a fucking 6-year developmental deal. Who the fuck signs it?
That's like a pimp. Then they got pimp like out.
Yeah, but
buy you clothes for no money.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, you think of how many times labels have done that, and the artists just ain't nobody fuck with the artist.
They say 504 also.
You know what I'm saying? You dump all that money into an artist and don't get a chance to recoup it. That's the reason why you got 360 deals now, because labels ain't making money no more. Streaming services are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So labels got to recoup that money some way, so they end up, signing artist signings 360 deals so they can have rights to their social media, own their likeness, shit like that. You know what I mean? So the label can actually recoup some fucking money because the label's dumbasses was late to the party when they should have been on board with the streaming services a long time ago. We all knew where this shit was leading to back in the Napster days. We knew that this shit was going to lead to here eventually for the way that we consuming music now. You know what I mean? They just ain't believed that shit and wanted to run that bag in a hole for as long as they could with physical copies and shit. That shit dead. Done.
And like 215 said, they all signed a shitty deal. That's actually my era. So you're
Yeah.
from my era where actually another group got jerked, which was who signed a fucked up deal was Mob Deep. They had good music, but had shitty deals.
Yeah, they deal was bad, but it wasn't that bad though. It wasn't that bad though. They points was
The one that
cool.
put them on. Without 50, they would have been fucked up.
Yeah, but see the thing that 50 learned is that shit sound cool. You know what I mean? And it looks good. But when artists is calling you fucking constantly because they done fucked up their money and now they need another 250,000 for whatever reason, he got tired of that shit. He got tired of that shit. He like, I ain't doing that shit no more. And then now you would ask Lloyd Banks, 50 did this and 50 did that. They'd leave out. The nigga was damn near babysitting you motherfuckers for years. You know what I'm saying?
That's so true, man. I like that. That's true. And it's crazy how they got used to being taken care of that. Neither one of them learned the business, and they was
Yeah.
around, and there was, it's sad how a lot of people go a whole different route. You know what I'm saying? But this versus here and this battle, it's it's history. You understand? It shows a lot. It proves a lot that don't matter who
Word.
you are now, that you know what I'm saying, that still don't make you relevant. It's the hard work. You know what I'm saying? Like these people come from an era when there was no internet, so that to be snapped, they had to work hard. You know, and what
Man.
amazed me was those three guys rapping together. Their style was so unique, and they combined it together that at no time, whether in that era or in this era, nobody is better than Kiss and nobody is better than them. You know what I'm saying? Like the Locks, they made history.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, right? If you look at it, and outside of maybe, and this is the cancel out like any of the groups from the 80s, no Run DMC shit, no none of that shit, right? The only group that probably would come close to being able to stand up there with them and give them a real run for their money would be Wu-Tang.
Ooh.
That would be the only group.
But then you don't think that would have been unfair? You don't think there's too many niggas in Wu?
Yeah, it's too many niggas. They already said, Swiss and Timbaland already said it would have to be a 3-man group, but the Locks didn't care who the fuck they don't care.
Yeah, they
Group
gotta
is a
let
group to them. They don't give a fuck. They think they can beat any fucking group. They don't care what group it is.
Wow, yeah, that would be that would have bring millions of views. Wu Tang.
Huh? The Wu Tang following is crazy. That shit
They
is
all over the
fucking
world.
crazy.
The logo is a
Give a fuck
flag.
where you go. You still see motherfuckers wearing these shirts.
They flag that logo. It's a flag. That's a stamp already. No matter where in the world you go, people love the Wu Tang. That logo is heavy. You see it in anybody's apartment, anywhere. That Wu, you be like, yo, that shit is bananas.
Yeah, see, yeah, but yeah, that it would be like mad unfair, for real, for real. It would be mad unfair because you got only built for Cuban links. I mean, you got
You got the
fucking
Cow, you got the
36
Ghost
chambers before
Ghost
they even
Ring.
get it. Because I honestly think Takao is the weakest album.
What? I think that
out
was
of all the
hard.
Wu albums. You crazy?
No, but I'm saying that was
If you list the albums, right? If you list them, right? Is Takao better than Liquid Swords?
Oh man. Now
You just don't want to say, yeah, you know it is. You know it is. You know it is. You know it is. Is it better than only built for Cuban links?
Oh man. I don't want to diss mess like that, bro. He might he might be like, oh, you use that nigga on that podcast. So.
See, that's where it comes from because everybody love meth. But if we talking about the albums, the full body of work, you know what I mean? The full body of work, only though for Cuban Links smashes almost everything but Liquid Swords. Liquid Swords is probably one of the most complete albums ever made. So we can just put that to the side. It ain't too many albums even fucking with that, right?
Right.
But outside of that, the rest of them, like Old Dirty shit, production-wise, got better production than almost everybody else. Because that just made up for Old Dirty's lack of skill. Old Dirty ain't really have no skill. You know what I mean? But his production was better than everybody else's. Yeah. Method Man just had his flow, his hooks and all that shit.
Okay.
People love that shit, but when you talking about a full body of work, nah.
The Jizza, yeah, that album, the Liquid Sword, that Jizza album.
That shit crazy. Liquid Swords is one of the greatest.
That album was hard.
Yeah, that shit is one of the greatest albums ever. That
song was crazy.
It's one of the greatest. It's up there. It's one of those complete joints, like lyrically, all that shit. You know what I mean? It will always be set there. And it's not to take nothing away from Takao. Takao had classic songs on there, but is it a classic album?
Yo, if Pac was to be alive, who do you think they would have put against Pac?
It's only a few people that you could put against Pac, and that would be. You can't even put Big against Pac, right? But if you're talking about just 20 songs, Pac would kill Big, and I love Big. But if we talking about just 20 songs, it wouldn't work. But it would have to be like Hov or Nas or Scarface. It would have to be people like that. You know what I'm saying? It would have to be people on that stature.
It might take 3 of them to try to take Pac down.
No, I don't think 3. Cause we talking about 20 songs, right? And it's about the songs that you pick and when you pick those songs. You know what I mean? It's how Jadakiss beat Fabulous. There's no way Jada should have beat Fab when Fab got all those fucking radio songs. He got mad radio songs, way more hits technically than Jada had, but Jada's song selection beat him. Tore him out the fucking frame. So if you don't pick the right shit, it's a rap any motherfucking way. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it like right now it's only one way Hov would do one or Nas would do one, and that's if it was each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think Hov might come outside for like Drake or some shit. But even then, I don't think he would, because it's not going to feel or look right. You know what I mean? Like, that shit not going to look like hip hop. Drake up there singing and shit. That shit not going to feel right. It's like you battling with a handicap and shit. Because how do you win against that shit when that nigga started them fucking damn near sounding like ballad songs and shit? You can't beat that. You know what I mean? Like, what you gonna put on? Excuse me, miss? You know what I mean? Like, that shit not gonna work. So I think that'll be the only way he come outside. But I know KRS-One said that he wanted to battle. No, I don't think that'll, no. And I fuck with KRS-One, but his shit would sound dated if he won against anybody from that particular era. It wouldn't fare well for him. Same thing with LL Cool J. He wanted the same thing. It wouldn't fare well for him. That shit gonna sound dated. It ain't gonna sound right. It ain't gonna feel right. unless he go against somebody from a different coast. Then it wouldn't sound dated. You feel what I'm saying? Like if you take one of the older acts from the 80s and you put them up against somebody from the West or from down South, because the production is different, then that shit wouldn't sound too bad. But if they both from the East Coast, that shit gonna sound terrible.
Right.
The fucking kids gonna be like, what is this? This shit happened in the fucking Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat battle and that shit. When Bobby started doing them fucking New Edition songs from when they was little kids and shit.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody.
I don't know why they did that. They should have left them out the picture.
But I think Bobby was trying to save some shit in case he get another one. You know what I mean? So I think he went into the New Edition bag and his first album bag a little bit more than he probably should have in that situation, because that shit sounded dated as fuck.
So Math and Busta Rhymes, what's up with that? What's the situation?
What is looking like is it already happened.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what's that looking like? What you think about that? Was it a battle that should or not?
I think it should have been Loaded Lux. That's just my personal opinion. Busta and Math don't have no history. Loaded Lux and Busta Rhymes have history. Loaded Lux had a diss track, all that shit that was never released, and then Mook played it at that Total Slaughter shit. It's a whole bunch of shit behind the scenes between them two. That would have been dope. Not to take nothing away from Math, but if you're gonna do this Legends League shit, you need to have more people battling than just you, nigga. Like, what the fuck?
I agree. I strongly do agree with that.
And there's no knock against Math, but it's like, come on now, blood. Like, you gotta get some more people to participate in this shit with you. You know what I mean? But I hope it turn out cool. When he come on the show, I'ma ask him about that shit. I'ma ask him like, why are you just battling these niggas? Like, the fuck is we doing? And who knows? He might have took that photo. With it not being him battling Busta Rhymes, it could be Busta battling somebody else. You know what I mean? Because he took the picture, and at the bottom of the picture it says Legends Only, and he sent it to me. I didn't see this shit on Instagram. He sent it to me with a question mark, and I sent the question mark back. Cause I didn't know. I didn't know what the fuck you said to me this shit. You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck the question is. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck the question is.
You can't answer my question with a question.
Cause I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I just looked at this shit. I thought he was responding to the last message I sent him, right? Because I sent them a message saying like, "Yo, is there anything you don't want to talk about? Is there any questions you don't want to discuss or go over or talk about and no shit like that?" And then like shit, it had to be like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. I get that shit. So I'm looking for the response to the question, because I asked that shit twice as we was negotiating. He never answered that question, because I don't want the time to come and then the nigga like, nah, I don't want to talk about that. I need to know beforehand. You know what I'm saying? I don't like shit like that. I don't like interviews like that. I need to know beforehand. I don't want to get up here and we doing this shit live and then it's like, no, I don't want to talk about that. Nah, I need to know way before.
Be like, hey, and they be like, nah, I don't want to go. You're like, what? This is an interview. What do you mean you don't? I thought we gonna talk about a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be dope. I'm gonna try to.
Interview with him? What you got?
It's gonna be in about 2 weeks. it could have happened this week, but I'm like my work schedule is really crazy. I'm not even off until next week. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to rush to do this shit, and his schedule he booked up, got some shit going on. So I just told him we had to push it for like 2.5 weeks, or some shit like that. I'm just gonna try to do it in a way where it's not going over the same shit that he has answered before. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You want something different, more authentic.
Yeah.
Not the same old shit. Every people that you see, you already know the question. You know what's the answer to it. You already heard it before.
Yeah. Now, granted, he gonna get introduced to some people that probably don't know who he is, because see, the problem with a lot of the battle rappers in his position, some of them are delusional and think everybody knows them. Nigga, everybody don't watch battle rap, so everybody don't know you. So some questions I would have to ask because a percentage of my audience don't know who the fuck he is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So some shit I would have to ask history wise, but it's other shit, more important shit, more recent shit. You know what I mean? The now shit, the transition, doing the podcast shit like that, and the early days shit, the more interesting shit, the early days shit, not just the fucking fighting shit and all that shit, all that normal shit that he done talked about 1,000 times on Vlad TV. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah,
we all know what happened.
I tired of a lot of bloggers when they doing interviews, because they ask the same question that was asked 6-8 months ago, a year ago. You be like, oh, we all know what happened with that. Like, I want to know something different about this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, ask a different question, but
Yeah.
all ask the same question. It's like the radio station. They all play the same song, just in different orders.
Yeah, and that comes from a lot of people don't really know how to interview correctly. The best interviews are when you allow people to talk and you just guide the conversation. You know what I mean? Because people will tell you just about everything you want to know if you just allow them to talk. You know what I mean? Don't let them talk too fucking much, but guide them where you want them to go. You know what I mean? Lead this shit, but let them just talk. They'll tell you, they'll give you some shit that you wasn't even looking for if you just let a motherfucker talk.
And you so right about that. Sometimes you put it like this: you don't even have to stop the conversation to let them know that you could just shift the conversation manually. You know what I'm saying? Like with the way you end it, you know, and they won't even realize. They'll be like, "Whoa, this interview was dope," because I was gonna say this and he kind of switched it up. So, and they'll catch the think about it, be like, "Yo, that guy ain't say no shit like that." You know what I'm saying? Would have fucked up my whole interview, my whole promotion or whatever. You know, you right about that. Just let a person talk and just shift the conversation along with it. You know,
facts. Diva, what's up, sis? Welcome back.
This show is so boring.
She about to talk shit. Don't pay her no mind, friendly. Don't pay her no mind, friendly. Don't pay her no goddamn mind. She gonna talk shit.
The most exciting part about the show is this nigga's background. What are you doing? What's going on in the back? The man is telling you to get out. Who is that? You gotta tell us.
That's my son right there. That's his Halloween. I did his makeup for Halloween like 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Oh man, I'm about to throw up. My first day back. Is she in the audience? Let me go on mute. I can't deal with my first day.
Yo, why me?
I can't do this shit today.
Is this a joke?
You couldn't write a better script than this.
This is a welcome back gift. I thought I got rid of this broad. What is going on? I'm going on mute. Let me go on mute. Y'all go. I'm listening to the background. I just needed the up close and personal with my earphones on. All right.
I swear she's a damn fool. Goddamn diva.
Said don't listen to her. That's what she's just gonna
Matter of
talk
fact, I'm
shit.
gonna go ahead and get on down. That just ruined my whole motherfucker. I'm out of here.
Nah, don't go.
She get on my nerves.
Oh my
This
god.
is crazy.
Oh, I gotta take a shot to this.
Oh shit. But nah, that was a dope interview you had a couple of nights ago. Was it like 2 nights ago?
Oh, with Kashmir.
Yeah, I watched that
My
shit.
first time doing it, so I really don't have the experience, but I just keep going, and I'm looking forward to have some more. You know, what I'm saying, with other people. But yeah, it's my first time really doing this, and actually I got on YouTube during the pandemic, just like to chat, like But then I seen this shit was a whole different thing. It's not like Instagram or Facebook. I seen it was a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and that's the thing. I think a lot of people, based on when they came or how they came, they kind of treat this shit like it's one of the other social media outlets and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's part of the problem on this shit is people don't look at this shit like you should be creating content. That's what you should be doing. You know what I mean? And also it's StreamYard fault for making it easier for people to just get up here and do whatever the fuck. But it is what it is. This shit is whatever the motherfucker that's using it wanted to be. You know what I mean? That's just how I look at it now. Like it ain't no perfect way or whatever way of doing that shit is. However you do it and your audience connect with it. Yeah, right. However your audience connect with it, it is what it is.
Support. Sometimes some people, they want to speak whatever they're going through or whatever. And I use it for myself too to learn. So when I be talking, sometimes I learn from others also when they correct me or check me on certain things. So it's good exercise for me. That's the way I use it. I don't use it for negativity to promote any prison and any other crazy shit. I just
word.
Cool, a place where it's like having having company at home and you playing a domino game. You want everybody to have a nice conversation during a domino game or a card game. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I use it for. While we at home or wherever in the world, just to communicate. Learn to understand one another. People got different attitudes. You might learn how to deal with people like that. It's not about to pull up and all that. We could just have fun.
That's a fact. I can dig that. That's what it is. You doing a show tonight?
Most likely, because I'm always going live every night. But I might be up there, or maybe T History might go live. So we gonna see how that shit works. Who going live, and then we just go and do our thing and just whatever. It just go through.
Right, that's what it is. Well, I'm at a hour and 13. I usually traditionally just do an hour. I'll let you have some final words, and I'm gonna shut this motherfucker down. But you know what I mean.
I appreciate you having me here, allowing me to pull up in your platform, and just share my thoughts with you guys. Salute to the chat, salute to you, and much blessings. You know what I'm saying? To you and everyone else, man. Like, thank you for having me here.
You already know. I'll catch you later. Probably over T History shit of yours, wherever. You know what I mean? You already know.
Definitely. You already have a blessed night. All right.
All right, I'll get up with you.
Definitely.
Cane slinging, chain hanging, gang banging. 20 some odd years, nigga, your name ringing. Just look at the ratio of the lames winning. Still getting fellatio from the same women. That real underground shit that they ain't spinning. If he wasn't born with it, it just ain't in him. Look something like food, but it ain't dinner. It'll get you lightheaded like paint thinner. Only time she with you is when I ain't in her. You a crooked loser, I'm a straight winner. Real sour, straight piffin', perk 30s. You could clean the money up, but the work's dirty.
Lil young nigga, gold chain, thinking he fly.
Block you because I want you to see. I want you to see the rise, bro. You can't fuck with me, nigga. Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking crazy, dickhead? What did you think that was gonna do? What you thought that was? What you thought?